If you've applied to tons of jobs and got nothing, you're not alone. One person even applied to 6,000 postings in 5 months and didn't get a single interview. In this video, I'll show you why most people won't find a job, but more importantly, how you can, by doing things differently. The same method that got me 8 full-time jobs without ever writing an application. We're in a weird situation right now. 81% of recruiters say they're having trouble filling job postings. There's a mismatch between those hiring and those who want to be hired. You see, companies don't always know what they need. Business owners are too busy running things to fully understand what sort of employee they need to hire. And with this, people looking for jobs are forced to fit themselves into pre-made boxes. When I was 17, I needed a job fast, but I had no experience, connections, or clue where to start. So instead of applying in the dark like everyone else, I did something very different. I started looking at small startups that had recently raised money but weren't actively hiring. Why? Because when a company raises money from investors, it usually means they have a lot to do but not enough people to do it. So I figured, if I could get in front of the right person, say a founder, understand their challenges and ultimately prove I was useful, they might hire me without needing to make a job posting. So I found a way to contact a senior person at one company. And instead of asking for a job, I first asked what their problems were. They had so much to do, but couldn't find people willing to get their hands dirty. So I made a written document showing what I could work on. I did this for free, telling them if they liked what I did, they could bring me on as a paid employee. They agreed. And within a week, I had a full-time job. No resume or a long interview process, all while I was still in school. If you want to do this yourself, keep watching this video, because later I'll break down an example using the exact same template I've used that has got me over 8 full-time jobs. A company will hire you for one of 3 reasons. 1, you make them more money. This is the easiest way to get hired. If a company believes bringing you on could make them an extra $500K a year, they wouldn't mind giving you $100K. If you can generate revenue for a company, you become an investment, not an expense. Or 2, you save them money. And the 3rd reason is if you can do both, which would definitely make you an easy hire. You see, most people apply for jobs without understanding what companies actually care about. They talk about degrees, experience, and skills, but they don't explain how they can actually bring value to the company. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually do this? Introducing the MYOB method. That stands for Make Your Own Job. Here's how it works. First, you find a company that has momentum and lots of problems. Usually these are startups that have recently raised funding from investors. They have cash, but lack people and time to get things done. Then you try to talk to a decision maker. So you try your best to get on call with a founder or senior employee, and on that call, you just ask questions to understand their biggest pain points. After this, you go away and create your own job description. To do this, you need to use the pitch template, link in the description below, to write out exactly how you can help fix their problems, along with what you'd like in return, a salary and a piece of the company. Then you pitch yourself as the perfect solution to their problems. Make it easy for them to say yes. Show them why hiring you will either save or make them money. This method works because instead of begging for a job, you're positioning yourself as the solution to their problems. If you show up with a clear plan, you're already more valuable than 99% of people applying through job sites. You're probably wondering, how do I find companies and decision makers? But more importantly, how can I get their attention? So for startups, you've got 2 ways to find them. 1, literally Google startups that recently raised funding. Or 2, use sites like Crunchbase to find recent fundraising data. To find the owner, look on LinkedIn, search the company name, and they are usually labeled as a founder, CEO, or co-founder. Now, to get their attention, you need to send the perfect cold email or LinkedIn message. Remember, most founders look at an email for no longer than a few seconds. If your message isn't doing these 3 things, it's getting ignored. 1, tell them who you are and why you're reaching out. 2, make a clear ask and keep it simple. And 3, keep it under 5 lines, as short and sweet as possible. So if you're a student, you could say, Hey Ryan, I'm currently trying to learn more about companies building AI agents. Wondering if you had 15 minutes this week to chat. Or if you're a very experienced person, you can write, hey Ryan, I've worked in sales for 5 years, taking AI Agent LLC from $0 to $5 million in annually recurring revenue in 1 year. I believe AI agent sales reps are the future and thought you'd be open to hiring a hungry salesperson at the ground floor. Do you have any time to chat this week? Cheers, Ryan. If you're a killer at what you do, you have the right to be aggressive as long as you can back everything up. Let's walk through a real example. Say you find a company called Kia LLC, a brand new software startup selling a service to businesses. They just raised $5 million from investors, but only have 5 employees, meaning they have cash to hire people, but they don't have enough time to figure out who to hire or how to find them. So, from sending a cold message, you get 15 minutes with the founder and figure out their biggest problems are sales are overwhelmed. They have too many leads, but not enough people to close deals. Marketing doesn't exist. Operations are all over the place. There's no onboarding system. And every time they sign a client, the team are scrambling to figure things out. These are 3 separate issues that could each justify hiring someone. You don't need to do all 3, but it's worth pitching more than one area you can work on, so the founder can pick what is most urgent and what they're willing to actually pay you for. My Make Your Own Job pitch template is split into 2 parts. 1, your ongoing responsibilities. In other words, what work streams and individual tasks you could do for a company. And 2, your proposed terms. In other words, what capacity you'd be joining the company in. So for Kia LLC, here's what my written pitch would look like. To help with sales, I will close at least 20 new business clients per year, each bringing in at least $10,000 in revenue. This is a make money situation. Then I list out some individual tasks that will help achieve this goal, such as sourcing and managing new leads, build automations like Zapier workflows to speed up the sales process, and ultimately negotiate and close deals. Then for marketing, I propose to help grow their Instagram following to 100,000 plus in less than 12 months. Then the final area I'd be able to help with is operations. Right now, the client onboarding process is chaotic, so I propose to organize it. This would involve documenting the exact processes that happen from before a client signs to the first moment they use our product. And then I'd work with the team so everyone follows this, making their lives easier and save the company money. Now we go on to what I want in return for doing all of this. Because their main problem is sales, I suggested hiring me as a sales associate. To help me figure out how much I could ask for, I found the same role at other companies could pay me $100K plus a year. If I was highly experienced, they'd probably agree to that, but let's assume I don't have much experience at all, like when I did when starting out. In this case, you can offer a trade-off, a lower cash salary, $80K instead of $100,000, and get some equity, basically a piece of the business, like 1% of the company, or a stock payment worth $3,333 a month, which is a payment in shares equal to half your monthly cash salary. This way, you earn a bit less upfront, but gain a piece of the company that could be worth a lot more later on. Also, a great way to reduce risk for the employer and increase your chances of getting hired is offering a trial period. The first thing you can do is offer to work for free for say 2 weeks, or you could earn a lower salary in the first month before earning a higher salary if they decide to keep you on. In some cases, this can actually earn you a higher salary because if they want and need you, they'll pay anything you want within reason to keep you. For years, we've been sold this dream. Go to school, then get a degree, and get a great job using a resume. But here's the truth. A degree doesn't guarantee anything. No one's ever asked for my degree, and I've worked many jobs paying 6 figures plus. The reality is, you can graduate from a top school, get straight A's, and still struggle to find a job because degrees don't teach you how to be valuable in the real world. Employers care about skills, experience, and your ability to solve problems. And the data backs this up. 52% of recent college grads got jobs that didn't even require degrees. It's not that college is useless. I mean, at the very least, it's great discipline. Think of it as committing to something and not giving up for many years. But in today's world, work experience is 1,000,000 times more valuable than any degree. I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with applying for jobs with a resume. But there is a way to do things differently if resumes aren't getting what you want. This method worked for me when I needed it most, and I had no experience at all, at least the first time I did this. If you do try this though, drop a comment below. I want to hear how things go. Also, join the Ryan Keogh Reddit thread in case there's anything you want me to help out with.